everyone. I've been meaning to write and to post a video with thoughts about how to, or thinking about the war and the conflict in the Middle East in the context of the love tank. But it's been hard to put words to the atrocities that are ongoing. Finally, today I mustered the courage to be able to write about it and to share some thoughts. So this is probably the second video in the series of reading The Love Tank as an adult. And I want to point you to the page that says, you see, there are no good people or bad people. There are just people with a full love tank and people with an empty love tank. This perhaps is a very controversial statement, and what I mean is it's easy to label people as good or bad, as my daughter and her classmates sometimes play the goodies and the baddies are thrown in jail, and that happens routinely in our society. We classify people into good or bad, and I want to challenge this notion because I think no one is intrinsically good or intrinsically bad. We're all capable of hurting others or also doing good for others, and it depends on the circumstances, right? If your gut reaction is to disagree with me, I challenge you to think about what you would do if someone hurt or even killed the person that you loved most in the world. I don't let myself think about that, but I imagine my soul would get very dark, and I would probably become a bad person seeking revenge. But again, I don't think we should label people as good or bad, because then we're just focusing on the individual instead of focusing on the conditions, the societal conditions even, that are responsible for creating individuals that act in certain ways. So I've heard through this conflict, how can these monsters do this? And I think a more appropriate question is, how is our society or even our humanity becoming a breathing ground for individuals with such empty love tanks? And how can we change the societal conditions so that we stop this insanity? And I don't think airstrikes or similar measures are the answer. It just generates more violence, more death, more hurt, and more empty love tanks. And it makes me wonder what will become of these kids, these children, both Israeli, Palestinian, who have seen their parents murdered in front of them. How empty are their love tanks going to be? How much revenge are they going to be seeking? And if they are seeking revenge, maybe they're able to break the cycle of violence, but if they are not, if they are seeking revenge, how, or do they think that this will make the emptiness go away? And we know that it won't, because revenge, anger, violence doesn't fill love tanks. Only love fills love tanks. And I feel like the wisest teachers of all times have been trying to share these messages and convey these messages in so many different ways, right? Jesus saying, if someone slaps you in one cheek, turn the other. Buddha, hatred never ceases by hatred, but by love alone is healed. Lao Tzu, someone must risk returning injury with kindness, or hostility will never turn to goodwill. In my humble interpretation and in my own words, I think this means that if something has happened to you, or if someone has hurt you to the point of depleting your love tank, you may feel anger and you may feel like you want revenge, and maybe justifiably so, but this will not fill the emptiness. You may feel empty too, and this will not fill the emptiness inside, which is the empty love tank. And only love fills love tanks. And as an acknowledgement, I know it's easier said than done, and we are all just humans with fluctuating love tanks. And perhaps people who are a little bit further away from the conflict and a little bit removed can help to start the healing of humanity by spreading love around us, starting with our children, our people around us. Just be kinder than you usually are. Love more intensely everyone around you. And just to end, I want to refer you to this last page in the book. Again, reading The Love Tank as an adult, what does this mean to us? If each of us can help to fill someone else's love tank, even just one, then maybe they can help someone else, and then they can help someone else. And just imagine how beautiful and kind our world will be when we all have our love tanks filled to the top.